This is the Algo Futures Trader Weekly Market Roundup. I just wanted to go through the entire week here, starting with Monday. This is the MYM, so we'll focus on the Dow Micro here, but it applies whether you're trading the minis or micros. So we had on Monday, we had some signals go off to the downside here, but you see that these AFT7, and this will be true whether you're trading Algo Futures 7 or 8, which is in beta. These bars were not colored, they were grayed out. That tells you that it did meet all the criteria for the traffic light filter to be all red and take that signal. So the automatic trading software here did not generate a trade based on that. However, you see here the traffic light filter turned all green here. We broke out of the no trade zone. That's your dotted green line here, the dotted red line. Inside that area, it doesn't trade because we're looking for an opening morning breakout. That's the template, and that's the system. So we broke out here. You see the bars are now colored blue. That tells us that we've met all the criteria for the traffic light filter to send the signal to the software to execute a trade to the long side there. And the thick dotted line here, that's the VWAP, so we're above that. We broke out of the USAR. All right, that's the support and resistance. It'll be resistance, it will be the red dots above price. If the trend is down, it'll be these blue dots and dashed lines below price if it's long, right, or the trend is up. So it met all that criteria. It takes it long, and we're trying to capture the range for the day. All right, remember the premise. If I just bring in, I'm just going to bring this as a chart of the S&P 500 here. All right, so what we're looking for is, notice all the days where the opening price is at or near either the low of the day, like on this particular day here, or at or near the high of the day, like on this day here. So, this little range here, you had, 1, 2, here where the open is at or near the low of the day. Day 3 here, open is at or near the low of the day. Again here, so there's 4 days in a row here, 5 days now because the open is now near the high of the day. Now this day, and this is typical, right? So after you have a string of days where the open is at or near the high of the day, when I say at or near, we're talking in the top 25% or bottom 25% of that day's range. But this day here, you see the market basically opened right in the middle of what ended up being the range for the day. All right. So now this day, the market did open at or near the high of the day and traded much lower, and then came back and traded almost near where it opened. All right. But this day, no, didn't happen. This day, not really. Okay, so you go through a few days, so that's how you can kind of tell when you do have a few good days that you're going to have some choppy days too, and you can kind of use that as a filter. But so basically, this is where we're looking to break out of that range, and we want to stay long above the open, or we only want to initiate long trades if the trades are above the open. If trades are below the open, or if the market is currently trading below where it opened, we only want to take short trades and see if we can capture the range for the day. So this is what happened on Monday here. Broke out to the long side here, and then simply trailing with the USAR on a stop. But you can see here's the first 1 hour target. So basically, this was your initial risk right here. So by this point, you're up, 1 hour or 1 risk unit, if you will. If you risked $40 to get into the trade, at this point you're up $40. And we're talking micro contracts. Okay. Now, you see by the end of the day here, or this was by 10:30, and then later around the end of the day here, you had the opportunity to take twice your initial risk out, or $80 on a $40 risk. Now I just have this set to a trail stop, and it's supposed to trail below this dotted line here, this USAR here, and it should have an offset. But I noticed as it moves higher, it starts getting closer till finally it's right on top of the USAR, which it shouldn't. It should be offset, and below that by a few ticks anyway. But so we got stopped here when really we should have been able to take the 2-hour profit at the end of the day. Shouldn't have got stopped there, but you know, it is what it is. Got to make some adjustments there, but that's how you learn. So so even though decent day, either you take 1 to 2-hour profit on Monday. All right, let's move over to Tuesday. Now Tuesday, you can see, look, this is a totally or completely different type of day, right? This is not one where you got any really follow through, at least in the morning here. And so this was a losing day. We lost about 1.5 hour on a day like this. So you can see it initially broke out to the long side, then that stopped and reversed to the short side here. Now I think this one was, we were able to, because it did get some fall through, we were able to kind of stop at break even there. So we were able to mitigate the losses on a day like this to a -1 hour. But we know we can make that up. You know, one good day we can make up for, you know, this is probably 2 or 3 losses. All right, so let's go to, this was Wednesday here. And so the long breakout here, so we had initially a breakout to the long side. That stopped at -1 hour, right? And then it reversed to the short side, obviously. Now this again had a maximum move for the day, about twice your initial risk. So, and again, that's what I like, is if you lose one here, okay, your day is not ruined, right? You know you can recapture that plus. Now again, the stop loss here got hit. Maybe it was a little close, but it ended up being probably a good stop anyway in this particular case. So we got back the 1 hour that we lost that morning. Not a big deal. So let's go, this would be Thursday. So you can see we never did, you know, test the short side of the range. It never broke below the no trade zone to the downside here. So it was just long, you know, basically all day. So you'd be into the long side right off the open here. It pulled back here, but again, your stop initially is going to be typically on the other side of the no trade zone here. So even though it pulled back, it really just pulled back to the open. And remember, we said we looked at the patterns like on the S&P. If the market is trading above the open, we should just be long. And so we were able to ride this, and we got stopped on a trailing stop right here. Right, yep, right there. So I mean, we captured, this would be the 2 hour, right? We never quite got 2 hour here. All right, and then Friday. Let's take a look at what we had Friday. So Friday was another day where, you know, we maybe had this stop a little too tight, but anyway, never tested the upper end of the range here on a breakout. It broke down. This was actually, I think, a gap up in the morning, and it just kind of bled from there. So we were just short the whole time, and this, you can see, got stopped on a trailing stop here, and I believe that was for well, it was close to 2 hour, I think. It did pull back a little deeper than you know, kind of hoped for, and but resumed the downtrend in the afternoon here. And you know, this would have been a monster. This is really the one we really wanted to capture, right? Because this probably went, you know, 4 times the initial risk, maybe more. And that's one you really want to capture. Unfortunately, I got taken out a little early here. Still not a bad trade, right? But would have been, you know, nice to have the full range and capture that full range. So nonetheless, still a profitable week. And sometimes that's how it goes, but that's how you learn, make some adjustments. So I'm going to look at this stop, and maybe it's a little too tight. And I'm not saying I might still gotten stopped out here, but you know, we can take a look at it and make some adjustments. Anyway, hope that's helpful. If you want to get started with Algo Futures Trader, all the links will be below. There'll be a link to click on to go through the onboarding process, to download NinjaTrader, to download the Algo Futures Trader 7 or 8. Again, 8 is in beta. All the help videos. You can also join the Discord server and see this in action live every morning on multiple markets, and just a ton of information that you can go through, from trading education to economic data. All the results are tracked so you can see how each market is performing. So check that all out, and we'll see you guys again next week.